Hello, welcome back to Mark's Garden UK. In this video I'm going to pot up and plant out my two brand new water lilies in my brand new wildlife pond. It's such a hot day today that I have to resort to coming under the shelter of this parasol, so I hope the lighting is okay. Anyway, so when you order these water lilies from pondkeeper.co.uk, they make it really clear that if you order this size, it has to be potted on into a slightly bigger basket, which is why I've bought these folding cloth baskets. And at the moment, Pondkeeper are giving 3 for the price of 2. By the way, I don't get commission from Pondkeeper, but I do have a good relationship with them, and they've just given us a 10% discount code for your first order. So have a look at the website, I'll put the link below. Why not order their free catalogue? I love a catalogue. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I could spend all night looking at a catalogue. Anyway, getting back to the plot, planting up our new water lilies. The nice thing about these baskets is they're porous. So once you've planted the plants into them and put them in the water can seep through and feed the roots. If you buy one of those plastic baskets with holes in, you've also got to buy a Hessian sack for it to fit in to stop all the soil from leaking out. I'm going to bring the camera in a bit closer so that I know that you can see me. Filming in the shade when it's sunny is problematic because the exposure keeps changing, so I hope you can see me. So let's have a bit of a closer look at these lovely water lilies. Now these arrived yesterday and I put them in the pond overnight, and I don't know if it's my imagination, but it seems to me that they've grown by a few inches overnight, so I can't wait to get these in the water. I've got two. I've got Virgin Alice there, and I've also got Alba here, and both of these have white flowers. So what you need to do with water lilies is pot them on, so they will be going in to these baskets, and clearly there's far too much room in that basket for that water lily, so I've invested in some pond soil. The point behind pond soil is it's not got too many nutrients in it, so it won't cause blooms of algae in the water and it won't cause an unbalance of the water quality. Also, it's made of a formulation that allows water in to the roots of the plant, and it also allows the oxygen into the roots of the plant. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some of this pond soil in the bottom of this basket. Now, how do you stop the pond soil from washing away? Particularly if you've got fish like carp who like to get in there and nuzzle around. Well, I've got some gravel here and I'll place that on top of the basket, and that will stop the water from washing away the soil. So that's just for the sake of it now. Let's just fold this down a little bit, give a little bit more space. So here's the first one, Virgin Alice. Let's put a little bit of a bed of soil in to the basket. This soil is actually warm to the touch because it's been lying in the sun. So there's a little bed of soil, and that can now come out of its pot. Lovely root system there, look. Give it a bit of a squeeze. And out it comes. Those lovely roots there. Great quality plants, these. There's actually, I mean, to my mind there's 2 water lilies in this pot. I'm looking at that there, it looks like it's got 2 heads on it, so I feel as if I'm getting 2 for the price of 1, and I'm half tempted to split that, but I won't. I'll wait another season and possibly split it next year. Let's get that in there, nicely nuzzled down. Now, let's backfill it with a bit more soil. And I'm trying to avoid burying the leaves because the leaves like to come up for the light. So that's nicely settled in there now. And the next thing to do is to get some gravel mulch on top of this to stop that soil from washing away once it gets into the water. So there it is, potted up and ready to go. What I need to do now is go back to the pond and gently lower this in. But before I do that, I'm going to give it a bit of a wetting with my hose pipe. And I'm quite pleased it's quite a sunny, warm day today, because it's the perfect day to go paddling. So this water lily, I'm going to place it not at its maximum depth, because I want to give it some time to find the light and put out a few more leaves. So I'm very gently lowering that down at about the depth where its leaves can still reach the surface, because those leaves will reach up to the surface and they'll start feeding off the sunlight. They'll level themselves out, they'll untangle themselves. I will give them a little bit of help, and they'll reach the surface and they will feed the rhizome, and that will then make it shoot out some more leaves. So there's one over this side of the pond now. As it grows and matures and gets bigger, I'll gently push it down into slightly deeper water down there. So now it's exactly the same process for my second water lily, which is Alba. Now I'll give it a bit of a wetting, just to try and dampen it down and hold the soil in place before I go wading again. This is the opposite side of the pond, you've probably noticed, and I know I've got a ledge here just before it goes to the deep water. So again, I'm gently letting the water flow into the basket until it's full, and then it will sink down, and that gravel is keeping all the soil in place. I'm just going to hold it stable while all those bubbles come out, otherwise they'll bring all the soil with them. And down it goes gently, not at its maximum depth, but as I said before, at a depth where it can reach the surface and see the light. And if it can see the light, it can feed the rhizome, and if it can feed the rhizome will then send out lots of lovely new lily leaves, and we'll enjoy that. Hopefully we might get some blooms by the end of the summer. One on this side, one on that side over there. These are the oxygenators, which I've just thrown in, but I'm going to use some of the pond soil to put a couple of these in baskets. So there we go, my water lilies planted up in baskets. Looking very fine, I have to say. One to my left behind me and one to my right, and that one's going to serve that half of the pond, and that one's going to serve the other half. In my hand here I've got water hawthorn. Now this is a plant which I'm sure I've seen on my local canal, and it puts out these lovely long leaves, and I'm just going to leave these here in the water standing up until they become a bit more established, because apparently they produce roots from their stems. So if I leave them there like that, eventually they'll grow and spread, and hopefully they might even propagate into this gravel. So there we are, water hawthorn. Hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you've enjoyed me planting out my water lilies. I will keep you updated on the progress. I'm hoping to get lovely new leaves. As I said earlier, I think they're growing by the inch, by the day. So stay tuned, and don't forget to have a look at Pondkeeper for the 10% off discount code, exclusively for Mark's Garden UK subscribers and viewers. I'll see you soon for some more wildlife pond adventures.